Apparently, the effort to find a working solution to the crisis in Edo State over the suspension of local government chairmen is making little or no progress. This comes with the reported emergence of leaders of legislative councils as acting chairmen in the place of the 18 local government council chairmen who were last week suspended for 2 months by the State House of Assembly for alleged insubordination. This is said to be in line with the directive from the state government. The injustice or otherwise of the process that led to that action by the Edo State House of Assembly has been a source of public debate, including in the ruling of the All Progressives Congress Party, where discordant voices have been heard over the matter. First salvo was fired by Attorney General and the Minister of the Justice of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, who said the suspension goes against the recent judgment of the Supreme Court on local government autonomy in Nigeria. For another perspective on this, we're now being joined by Dr. Obire, a former governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Delta State. What we particularly want to interrogate, apart from his position on this matter, is how this state of affairs might impact intra-party cohesion ahead of the next electoral cycle in less than 3 years. Good morning and welcome to The Morning Show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so thank you for being here. Before we get into, the nitty-gritty of things, I want to know your thoughts. When we look at the Supreme Court judgment vis-a-vis the local government autonomy, which is the both sides of this argument, we're seeing Attorney General Lateef Fagbemi describing the suspension of these Edo local government chairmen as a violation of the Supreme Court's judgment on local government autonomy. From your perspective, what are the key legal and constitutional issues at play here? How does this action in itself undermine the principles of decentralization and local governance? And on the flip end of that, when we look at Edo State House of Assembly justifying its decision by citing insubordination as the basis for suspending these council chairmen, do you believe that their rationale is sufficient under the law, or does it amount to legislative overreach and an abuse of power? Your thoughts?
Well, thank you. First of all, there's a whole lot of reforms going on in the country at the moment, and the president is really, really out there to ensure that everything goes well as it should be. Politicians need to understand that there's politics and there's governance, and the Constitution also has a major role to play in governance. Now we have 3 tiers of government, which is the federal, the state, and the local government. And the Constitution gave validity to these 3 tiers of government. Well, over time, the state government has demonstrated some level of supremacy over the 3rd tier of government, which is the local government. And that's actually very unfortunate because politics, when you come to politics, they will tell you that every politics is local. But when it comes to governance, they don't see the local government tier of government as a viable part of the system. It's just like when we look at some developed countries, even take a look at just South Africa here, you see that every local government is so empowered that you don't even know the regional governments. The local governments are so empowered, they are the ones doing everything, road construction, this, that, whatever you can think of. And we are here trying to reduce the local governments to just to a mere paperwork. Because when you take a drive to most of the local governments we have, the 774 local governments we have today, when you take a drive to their headquarters during the working days, You even, the site is appalling. The environment is something that has been neglected for so long. You won't believe that people actually go to work in those environments because they have reduced that tier of government to nothing. Nothing happens there. It's just about paying salaries and that's all. Local governments, when we were growing up, they do a whole lot of things. They grade roads, they clear roads, they take care of so many things. But today, you can't even see any impact of the local government because the state government has oppressed the local government to the extent that they can't even breathe. So, most of it's an audacious decision of the president making sure that the local government have autonomy. And that is the way to go. For the state to wake up and say, you are suspending a whole 18 local government chairmen and their deputies, it's unheard of. So you're practically saying that the entire 18 local government has committed the same offense. I don't understand it. But then the court has given their decision, and I think the status quo will be maintained at the moment.
All right. Well, it's interesting to note that you are a member of the All Progressives Congress, but you support the position of the AGF, Lateef Fagbemi. We would like to know how this situation is actually impacting the intra-party coalition, as you heard in our introduction, ahead of the elections, as it were. Especially as reports indicate that, leaders of the legislative arm of the council have taken over the helms of affairs as acting chairman this moment. We know that the state government, in justifying the suspension, say that the state lawmakers acted lawfully in suspending the local government chairman. They say that the Supreme Court's judgment on financial autonomy for local governments did not override the powers of the state's assemblies to exercise oversight powers over the local government areas. I'm just highlighting that because you said that you were confused, and that's their stance. But we would like to know really how it's affecting, intra-party activities at this moment.
Well, you see, this matters, this local government issue at the moment is before the courts. But then you can see that even the party, as regards to the Attorney General, was not in support of what has happened. And when you look at the situation, you see that the local government, the House of Assembly, the Edo State House of Assembly, is dominated by the PDP. And for them to take this kind of decision, it simply means that there is something going on that one cannot actually explain, because the local government chairmen that they are trying to displace at the moment are actually also the members of the PDP. So we cannot say that this is solely the fault of APC, or APC is trying to oppress, but there is something going on between the government and the House of Assembly. And looking at it deeply, you can only see that there is a power play and there's a power show. But I think that the status quo should be maintained, and why the court decides on the matters.
All right. Well, I like the fact that you that you're giving the law a chance to rein in on this matter. But then moving it forward, looking at it from also a political point of view, will you think that going forward that the APC, the new APC government in Edo State, will be able to work harmoniously with the local government authorities, the chairman, if status quo is maintained? Given what we have seen lately, I think that there are a couple of videos flying about on social media showing people that are either members of the ruling party in Edo State, or those who are reportedly close to the governor, to Governor Okwebulo, going around select local government offices and checking if the local government chairmen that were suspended were coming to work. And, the picture shows something of intimidation, threats, and possible violence. So my point is, yes, the court has ruled, but then it looks like it's beyond legality for some people. And therefore, what would be your advice, given that you're a member of the APC, and it is clear that the APC in Edo State does not seem to want to reason with the Attorney General of the Federation? What will be your advice to the federal government, to the Edo State government, and to the APC National Party itself to ensure that this does not lead in any way into an ugly situation in Edo State?
Well, I am not sure. I'm not sure because I've not seen these videos you made mention of at the moment. But it's also on record that about 8 local government chairmen actually resumed duty and at their different local governments. And I don't think anything happened in this regard. I know that the governor, Okwebulo, is a gentleman that should be able to follow the due process. And I also call on the APC followership in Edo State. Yes, it is not good also for one to take laws into their hands, because if matters are in court, I think the court should be respected. If actually that these videos you're talking about are real, then they should desist from doing that and wait for the courts to do their work. And whatever the court decides should be binding by everybody. APC, we are not hostile people. And we don't show this kind of attitudes of do or die kind of politics. So I am surprised that you're saying some videos are out there and people are going from one local government to the other to check if these people, I don't actually know the reason or what is behind such moves, if actually they happen. But I doubt, because as at last week, it's on record that some local government chairmen and their deputies have already resumed their duties at their various local governments. So I think the party is peaceful, and I'm also sure that the leadership of the party are also looking at the issues and whatever. But these issues of local government being oppressed by governors, it's not just a matter of Edo State. It's across the nation. They should allow the local governments to function. This is my advice. The local government should be allowed to function as a tier of government. They should be given the support, the full support, to do their job, so that it will also help the state. Because if the local governments are functioning, and are doing what they are supposed to do, it benefits the state more. Even, it reduces the workload of the governor. So I think the local governments across Nigeria should be allowed, they should be allowed to function to full capacity, and not trying, or governors going through House of Assemblies or doing whatever they want to do to subvert the Constitution that establish and recognize these local governments. If the local governments are given the opportunity to function well, I am sure you will see serious-minded people that will be willing to be local government chairmen.
All right, then. I love that you've touched on, the path forward and finding common ground to this conflict resolution and giving the legal, political, and public pressures that are surrounding this issue. I'd like you to also further discuss, you kind of touched on it, the recommendations as the best course of action to resolving this crisis in Edo State while respecting the local government autonomy and fostering trust between the stakeholders who are involved. Looking ahead, how can the state and local governments continue to work together to prevent similar conflicts from arising? Are there legislative or perhaps institutional safeguards that should be prioritized to strengthen the local governance structures in Edo State and even Nigeria as a whole?
Okay, great. The issue is very simple. The governors across Nigeria should see local government as a functional part of the state. If the state needs to make progress, the local governments must be carried along in whatever they are doing. Now, coming to Edo State, I want to advise my friend and my brother Okpewolo to call the local government chairman. They should have a robust discussion, a meeting where they will meet at a point, because there is time for politics and there is time for governance. The elections in Edo State are over. The local government elections were done. These people were legally and lawfully elected. Now, he himself, the governor, was legally and lawfully elected. So election, politics is over. This is the time for governance. And governance has no boundary about political parties. When you are governor for the entire state. In that state, you have all political parties inside that state, even followership inside that state. It's also the same thing as the local government. We can't have a one-party system. If we have a one-party system in our democracy, then a lot will go wrong, because we must have the checks and balance. And this is where oppositions need to wake up. We need a robust opposition to spur us to do more for Nigerians. If there are no oppositions, then we will always feel that, yes, everything is going well, whatever we're doing is right. But if there is a robust opposition that is looking at every move and every area of our party, then it will spur the parties, to spur our government to do more for Nigerians. So we cannot say, oh, Edo State, like what is happening in all states today. It doesn't make sense to me as a Democrat, a democratic person. I'm a progressive, and I don't see the importance of we having a state. It's happening everywhere. Where the governor is PDP, when you do a local government election, that PDP clears the entire seat of all the councillors and chairmen. It also happened in APC states. And this does not give that democratic sense political approach. So we need to give that enabling environment for people to vie for positions. And when they come, no matter what party they come from, when the government is formed, there's supposed to be a synergy throughout that administration till you get to another electoral cycle. Then you can play politics. But when we bring politics inside governance, it doesn't speak well for us as a country, as a nation, and as a government. So I will seek indulgence of the governors to please allow local governments to function, whether they belong to the political party of the governor or not. They are a government that was voted for and established by the Constitution.
Yes, that's a good place to end it. Thank you so much, Dr. Odiakpo Obire, for your time on The Morning Show today.